Hello, welcome to the Wiltshire Caravans handover video for this 2025 Elddis Avante 554. Probably the first thing you'll notice is that for this season they have gone to the lift up. I might as well show you while I'm here, haven't I? So we've got the lift up instead of the one that you used to just pivot up. This comes right up. There we go. Lot nicer, a lot cleaner, and you don't get to bang your head so easily, and particularly on the scratchy bits. But I'll leave that up while we're here. I'm going to start around the back as usual. So single axle model. This one does have some extras, including heavy duty steadies on there. So it's got that. At the back, very Elddis like grab handles, and you can move these about when it's on tarmac or concrete, whatever. Not so easy on grass or gravel, but you can move them about. Obviously leg steadies, as I mentioned, light clusters, nice new light clusters on them, so they look a bit like the Buccaneer ones. So they've got the indicators, brake lights, reverse lights, fog lights, etc. Highline brake light as well, and a place for your number plate. And the good thing about the number plate thing is it's all cut out to size, so you can't generally go too skew whiffy on it, although I've probably managed so far. First things first, the toilet area. What are the blue jobs? So, toilet flush reservoir in there. So if you're still using your pink, that's entirely up to you. Personally, I just use water because it just rinses it out and won't plug up the impeller. I just filled up a sort of like a 2 litre old pop bottle just to fill it up. Most important bit, the cassette. So that's the posh coffee man's just turned up, but we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop for coffee today. I need a coffee. No, we're not. Right, so standard Thetford cassette. So literally, very simply, lift that handle and pull it towards you. Make sure that the flap is shut inside the toilet. I'll show you that a bit later on. Otherwise, you can't get this out. All right. So, it does have trolley dolly wheels, so you can carry it along. So, when emptying, you'll know when it needs emptying because the light comes on in the toilet. But take that off, put it somewhere safe. You don't want it to fall into said receptacle where you're pouring this stuff. If you do drop it in there, you're going in after it. So I'd suggest heavy duty marigolds. Actually, just don't let it happen. Okay, if you ever see anyone walking around a campsite with an arm that's blue up to there, blue and brown streaks, you'll know what's happened. So, take this over the hole where it's going to go, press that button there, and that will all come flooding out. That releases any air pressure. You'll want to clean this out then. You want to give it a rinse out. So, lid back on, slide that down, turn that round, and there'll always be a hose pipe around. Give it a swill out, close up the flap, put through that, swill, 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 remove lid and repeat. Okay, that should, you'll need to put some blue in, or green, depending on whatever you use. On the cap itself, there are some measures, inside and outside. Okay, so whatever the recommendation is on the bottle, put that in there. You can put it in there, or you can just put it directly into there. It's entirely up to you. And then to finish, literally put that back in and it clips in. Okay, now particularly winterizing, but if you need to empty this reservoir, there is a little pipe underneath, literally just there. Pull out the bung and gravity does the rest. I would suggest having a bucket with you, otherwise you're going to get wet feet. It does come out at quite a rate of knots. Okay, so that's, oh, I haven't put that back in. He says, there. And lock this. If someone has lost their cap, they might want to come and find it. Find another one. Whilst I've got the keys out, unusually, well not unusually, but now for 2025, Elddis and Buccaneer and the Explorer range have all got 2 keys. The bigger key is just for the door. The smaller key is for all the other bits. Okay. Moving along. 2 waste outlets. So that's for your 2 sinks, so your kitchen and your bathroom, and 1 for the shower as well. Okay. Wheels, alloy wheels. They're black this year. I think they look quite fetching. Torqued up. The nuts are torqued up to 130 Newton meters, and the tyre pressures, which is very important on a caravan. The information is around the other side on the weight plate. I'll show you that in a little while. So, freezer vent and fridge vent. Then you have the battery box. So, battery box. Not surprisingly, inside there's a battery. They do not come as standard, but there you go. You've got a battery. Also got your electric hookup point in here. And this is also where we put the motor mover, if you're having a motor mover, the motor mover isolator. It is placed there so you cannot engage the motor mover while you are plugged in. That is a good thing. You do not want to be doing that, because you might take away the, rip out the electric lead from the pole. Right, this one has another extra. That's an external shower point. Cold water only, so boots and dogs only would be my suggestion. Or, unless you do like cold water showers, it's entirely up to you. Water inlet. Okay, so let me go and grab the water pump and show you how that works. Okay, so 1 water pump. This goes into the aqua roll. This literally just pushes in there and clicks down. Okay, very, very simple. And then it can clip in there when you're changing the barrel. Nice and simple. Okay. You might notice on here, there's also an outside service light. That again is another extra on this particular caravan. Okay. Right, so what comes with the van? Because it's got some extras with it, it does come with an Alco wheel lock. And it's also got the outside shower point there. Comes with a leg winder, wheel brace, that water pump that we saw, and an electric 25-meter electric hookup. All right. Now, this is, like I said about this is nice and simple. Just to close it, push it, give it a push. Happy days, all closed. And to lock it, remember the smaller of the keys. Push that in at the bottom a little bit, and it goes. Simple as that. Now, this caravan is running on the Alco chassis. It's got the ATC, Alco trailer control. Basically, if you start to get a little bit out of shape, it will dab the brakes on to stabilize the vehicle. As it's starting to rain, I'm going to start moving a bit quicker. Okay, gas barbecue point. May I always remind you, don't use a gas barbecue inside an awning. The fire and fabric thing that never goes particularly well. You've also got access to under the front bench, and you do have an electric 230 volt socket there. I spoke earlier about tyre pressures, and I said there's a weight plate and the information's on there. Well, this is it. So on this weight plate, you've got the CRIS number, the maximum plated weight, which in here is 1470, massive running order 1316. So that tells you how much you've got for the payload. This one's already got 32 kilos of motor mover on. We don't go through the motor mover in these handover videos. There's a separate video for it. But it does say that the tyre pressure on here is 60 psi. So quite significant. Very quickly, that's just storage under the bed. Not going to go in there. You've got your marker lights and obviously your awning light. Okay. That pretty much is the outside. It does have receptor for the Alco lock. Again, there is a separate video for that direct from Alco that I can send you a link to. It's going to go inside now because it's raining. You will see it is a stable door, so half of it can stay shut if you've got kids or dogs to keep them in or out, depending on what you want. But I'm going to go on in and have a look around. So, welcome to the inside of the Avante 554. Special features of this particular model, because it's got some extras on it, as I said, it's got the star view. That's not a standard feature. Okay. We also have solar panel on here. So a 100-watt solar panel. an omnivent. Now the omnivent it works as either as an extractor fan, or it can bring air in as well. Very simple to use. Lift up the flap by turning that, and then on. Be patient. That's working as an extractor, and by pressing it, that will keep. And then likewise, you can bring air from the outside in. Give it a chance to slow down, and then there it goes. Be patient with these. You don't keep pressing in speed, because it will just confuse it. Turn it off, and remember to always close this. One other thing, or a couple of other things. This one has got Wi-Fi already fitted, factory fitted. It's got a couple of USB points down there. And unlike a standard Avante, it has the pleated blinds. So the blackout blinds are the pleated blinds, blackout blinds, and fly screens all around. The only one that doesn't have that is this window here. It just has a blackout, and that's because it doesn't open. Okay, but let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the meat of the job. As me and Danny do a quick dance. Right, I'm just going to turn everything off. Okay, so main power, this one, that turns your power on. If you've got any light switches still on, they will remain on. Okay. Awning light, that one. And then if I can draw your attention to the star view around the outsides, it becomes light. And then this one is for the lights around the star view, and this one is for your service light outside and your gas locker light. Okay, quite straightforward. You've got light switches all over the place in here. We'll get to those as we walk around, but that one's for the kitchen. There's one by the bathroom door and one for the bedroom. But like I say, half the fun of it is trying to find out where everything is. Right, this is the whale control system for your hot water and your heating. So for heating, the 3 arrows pointing up, that's the heating. Press it, and you've got your options here. So you can run at 3.3 amps, 6.5 amps, or 13 amps. Now, depending on how much you've got available to you, really relates to how much you want to put on, you want to use. 3.3 amps, good for maintaining temperatures, but would take quite a while to heat anything up. So my recommendation is always go 6.5 to start with, heat everything up, and then if you need to save electricity, you can drop it down to 3.3 amps. You can also use gas, or you can use gas and electric. That's again, that'll speed things up rather quickly. This one will just circulate air at whatever the temperature is outside. Turn that off now. To change the temperature, simple, up and down, very simple, to whatever you want to the minimum temperature to be. You do have a night mode if you wish to select that. So at night, and you can change the times to when you want to use night mode, to whatever temperature you want to set it to. Personally, all I ever do is at night just turn that down, but it's entirely up to you. You also have a frost-free mode if you've got it plugged in when there's likely to be any frosts around. Very straightforward. If at any stage it does ask for a reset for whatever reason, ideally, before you actually close the caravan down to take it away or whatever, turn the heating off and let it wind itself down. Give it about 5 minutes for a rundown sequence. Otherwise you might get an error message. If you do get the error message, it will tell you what to press. It will say press that button or that button, whatever, but it will do so. Okay. This is your menu button. Press it, and then we get to the water. I'm not going to turn it on at the moment because there's no water in here. However, you can set it to 3.3 and eco, and then that would just be for the water only. You can boost if you're going to need a lot of hot water. Its standard is about 8.5 litres of hot water. It is a combi boiler, so it should continue, but don't. Well, you're probably limited by the amount of water you've got in your barrel for how much you're going to have a shower, but you can boost it for 15 minutes, but take that off quickly, on electric or onto gas. Then you've got your water pump. So you know I've plugged the pump in. It's not in any water at the moment, but press that and it will go green when the pump's running. Okay, I heard it running. You won't hear because we've got a van outside, but that would go green. If it's just yellow on an outline of yellow, it means the pump's not in, but you have tried to activate the pump. Next one is just the time. That's not correct, but that is just the time. And then 13.5 volts is the power available to us. Again, that's about normal for one of these vehicles. However, we are plugged into the mains at the moment. Again, menu. If you press and hold it, you go into the menu. You can set the room timer, water timer. You can set the clock. Options, that will tell you that you can, depending on how much supply you've got, you can drop that down to say you've only got a 10 amp site, you can drop it down. And then screen off after how long, brightness, etc, etc. Very simple. That is as simple as it gets. Very important thing about water, particularly in winter time, is to drain down the system. Now, here, in this particular van, the drain down yellow tap is there. That is currently open, so there's no water in here. To close it, it's very simple. Quarter turn that way, then you've closed the tap. It's as simple as that. But make sure you do that, particularly if you think there's going to be a frost. You don't want anything freezing up in here, splitting pipes, etc, etc. When you do drain down, make sure you open the taps up full as well. This tap and the bathroom tap and the shower tap. That way the air comes through and make sure there's no water in this caravan. Under here, we've got the PDU. So we've got all your breaker switches and your fuses. Okay, very simple. So if you arrive on site and it doesn't work, normally if you try to overload these things, it's the pole that will pop in effect. If that's not the case, come and check your breakers in here. Very simple. There is also a gas isolator in here, but if you're using propane, just turn things off at the bottom. Very simple. Well, it's up to you if you want to use that, but very simple. Under here is just storage. The rest of it, storage. Here's something very exciting, a radio. And it's a very simple radio. It's a radio with auxiliary, and it does have not two auxiliaries in effect, but it has a USB point too. Turned on and off using SRC. TV aerial and radio aerial in effect. Undo that, push that up, turn it round to the same direction everyone else has got there, aerial pointed, then tighten that nut up. But when you're leaving, make sure you bring it back down. The Max View Roam, so basically that's a Wi-Fi system. You will need SIM cards for it. I think it can take 2 SIM cards. So and those you purchase yourself. I don't think they come with it. Anything complicated left? Not really. Fridge, quite simple. Let me just turn the fridge off. So that's your on and off button. Press and hold, it'll turn on. Okay, it's currently on electric. You can set it on the mode. You can set it to auto, which will just pick up whatever you're using at the time. It can run off the battery. I'll keep going. Run off the battery of the car. Well, it can run off the car, not necessarily just the battery. It can run on gas if you're out in the middle of nowhere, or you can run it on electric. Obviously, if you've already paid for your electric on the site, I would suggest that. One thing to note, when you're running this off the car, it will not cool the fridge down, but it will maintain a temperature. So as long as the fridge is already cold, it will maintain that temperature while you're travelling. And to change the temperature on these, the little thermometer there just goes up and down to whatever temperature you desire. It has locks, travel locks. Very good idea. Stops things flying open, and then it's just your fridge and a freezer. Enough space to put your ice for your gin and tonics, but then lock it when you're travelling. The cooker, Thetford cooker, standard. The gas rings will only light as long as that is up, and you have one electric hob as well. It does say do not shut lid when burner alight, makes sense, but also if that's still hot, don't close the glass lid down, because that could shatter. Also have a separate grill and oven, nice size oven there. And under here you have a plug, and that's just for the electric hob. So if you're worried that you might have children, or you might knock this occasionally, you can just unplug it. That way you've got no danger to like I say, shattering the glass. Also got a couple of isolators here for the oven, and one for the oven and grill and the burners, and one for the fridge. Again, they're currently in the open position, so don't panic. Next, microwave. Does microwave things. There you go. Glass plate. Remember not to travel with that in. It's an 800 watt oven. And the isolator, or the plug, is just there. Very, very straightforward. Everything else is pretty much cupboard space. Okay, lots of cupboard space. Talking about lights, well, there's the light switch for the bedroom is there. You've got individual lights up there for reading lights. Lots of space underneath for storing. Don't store anything heavy under there while you're travelling, because it's behind the wheels. I would suggest that's not going to make for a pleasant journey, despite the ATC. Rest of it, again, a couple more bits that are extras. You've got the light behind, the backlight behind the headboard. You've also got the Hollywood mirror. Add in here, obviously shower, sink, toilet. As I said about the toilet, a light comes on here. That's when you need to empty it. Personally, we used to have wine o'clock, so I would just empty it before wine o'clock. Then I know I'm always going to be absolutely fine. Other than that, not a lot else to say. It's a lovely looking van, nicely finished. Yeah, I think an excellent choice. If you've got any questions about this or any other van, give us a call, 01373 752 100, option 1. Speak to myself, Andy, or Danny. We are in the sales team. You can follow us on Facebook. We're on YouTube, TikTok. Of course, you can contact us on sales at wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. Come and visit us, 36 Headquarters Road on the West Wilts Trading Estate in Westbury. The postcode is BA14. No, it's not, that's mine. BA134JR. We do like people to come in. You never know, we might even put the kettle on. But for now, this is the 2025 Elddis Avante 554. And it's ready to go. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.